Okay, so this is 2021, paper 2, question 4. The expression x cubed minus px squared minus qx plus 40 is exactly divisible by x plus 4 and leaves a remainder of 56 when it is divided by x plus 2. Find the value of p and q. So every time you see more than one variable, you expect simultaneous equations ahead. So to solve this, we have two facts here. The first one is this is a factor of this. So that means f of 4 is equal to 0. And then we also have another condition which states that and leaves a remainder of 56 when it is divided by x plus 2. By the way, this is negative 4. So f of negative 2 is equal to 56. In other words, when you divide it by x plus 2, the remainder will be this. So I'm using the factor theorem. I'm assuming you have seen the first video. So next, we can find this part here. So f of negative 4, using this function there, is equal to negative 4 cubed minus p negative 4 squared minus q negative 4 plus 40, and this entire thing is equal to 0. Remember, f of negative 4 is 0, so we can as well just substitute this by 0. So now negative 4 to the power 3, this is negative 64. And then 4 squared, negative 4 squared is 16. So this will be negative 16p. And then negative q multiplied by negative 4, this will be positive q plus 40. And then we can simplify this to get the first equation. So putting the like terms together, negative 64 plus 40 minus 16p plus 4q. So now negative 64 plus 40, this one will be 24 minus 16p plus 4q. So I can take this one this side, so that we have 24 is equal to negative 16p plus 4q. So this is our first equation, but you can simplify it further just to reduce on your workload ahead. So as you can see, 4 is a common factor for each of these numbers, so I can divide it through by 4. So as long as there is an equal sign here and then you divide it through by some common factor, nothing will change. But the moment you do it when you have an expression like this, then it becomes incorrect. So do not mix these two together. So 4 into 24, this is 6. 4 into negative 16, this is 4p. 4 into 4, that's a 1, so we have a q. So we can take this as our equation 1. So now to find the second equation, we use the second fact, which is f of negative 2 is equal to 56. So we can find f of negative 2. F of negative 2 will be, I'm using the same polynomial, so we have this one, and then this, and then this plus 40. So since this is equal to 56, you can as well put a 56 there. So now negative 2 to the power 3 is negative 8. Negative 2 squared is 4 multiplied by p, this will be 4p. Then negative q multiplied by negative 2 is positive 2q plus 40. Then we have 56 is equal to, these two are like terms, we can put them together, minus 4p plus 2q. So 56, this plus this is 32 minus 4p plus 2q. And then this will be, if I take this on this side, we have 56 minus 32 is equal to negative 4p plus 2q. And then this minus this, you can say 6 minus 2 is 4, 5 minus 3 is 2, so we have a 24, negative 4p plus 2q. So I can simplify this one by dividing through by 2, just to make it easier. So this one there is 12, this one here is negative 2p plus q. So this one will be our equation 2. So now to find the value of p and q, you can solve these two equations simultaneously. So the first equation is 6 is equal to negative 4p plus q. The second one is 12 is equal to negative 2p plus q. So since these two are the same, I can just use elimination method. 6 minus 12 is negative 6. And then negative 4 minus negative 2p, this will be negative 2p. This minus this is 0. So then our p will be, when you divide both sides by negative 2, you have p is equal to 3. So p is equal to 3. So now to solve for q, you can use any of these two. So I think I'll use the first one. 6 is equal to negative 4p plus q. Then we know that p is equal to 6. So where we have a p, we can put a 3, then q. So this multiplied by this is negative 12 plus q. When you take this on this side, it's a 12 is equal to q. This plus this is 18, which is our q. So our p is equal to 3, and then our q is equal to 18. So going back to the equation, the expression rather, let me just fold this paper. We have x cubed minus px squared minus qx plus 40. And then we know that p is equal to 3, q is equal to 18. So our equation, or our expression rather, is x cubed minus, instead of putting a p there, we know that p is 3x. Is 3, so you can write x cubed minus, instead of having a q, we can have an 18x plus 40. So this is the actual thing. Then hence factorize the expression x cubed minus px minus q, actually this is supposed to be squared, minus qx plus 40. So to do that, the best part here is we already have, so you don't need to find factors of this, because we already have this part which says the expression x cubed minus px squared minus qx plus 40 is exactly divisible by this. So if this is exactly divisible by this, then this is a factor of that. So we can just divide this by this. We can either use long division or synthetic division. So since we used long division in the first video, we can use synthetic division here, and then possibly use the other methods too. So the factor here is, one of the factors is this, and then we are dividing this by this. So to use the synthetic division method, you have to change this to this. You equate it to 0 and take the 4 to the other side, so that you have x as negative 4. So you can write something like this. So you have a 4 here, and then you write down all the coefficients of the polynomial you are dividing by. So you have a 1, a negative 3, a negative 18, and a 40. You don't need the variables there. And then next, you can bring this guy down there. So now you multiply this by this. What you get, you write it there. So negative 4 by 1, this will be negative 4. You write it here. And then next you add this to this. So for everything that is vertical like this, you add. And then to get the numbers here, you multiply this by the number down there. So this one plus this is negative 7. And then to get the next number, you multiply this by this again. So negative 4 by negative 7, this is 28. And then you add these two numbers together, you have a 10. And then after you get a 10, to get this number, you do the same thing. Negative 4 multiplied by this. So this one is multiplying by that, by this to get that, and then by that to get this. So 4 by this is negative 40. And then this plus this is 0. So this 0 tells you that there is no remainder in this case. Okay, so now after you do this, you can just think of this as this. So this one will be the coefficient of x squared. This one will be the coefficient of x. This will be the constant term. So in this case, we have x squared minus 7x plus 10, like this. So in other words, we have x plus 4, this one here, multiplied by x squared minus 7x plus 10. So let's finish this one up. Of course, you must close. So as you can see, we have a quadratic equation. expression this side, which we can easily factorize. The product there is 10, and then the sum is -7. So to find the factors, just look for two numbers which when you multiply you get this, and I think those two numbers are 2 and 5. Then when you add them you get this. So since this is negative, we can negate both of them, so that x plus 4, then I'll use square brackets there, minus, maybe not now, we can break this one down into -2x, -5x plus 10, and then we have x plus 4. You can use the square brackets now. You can factor out the x here, so x minus 2, then we can factor out the 5 there, x minus 2, and then this one and this is common. This one there is x, there it's 5, and you have factorized it completely. So if you want to use the long division method, which is a lot more relatable, you can just say this one here, x plus 4 divided by our polynomial, so to use this method, you can say this one here is x squared. So you're just dividing by this, forget about this one. Then this times this, when multiplying, you multiply by both. This times this is x cubed, then this times this is positive 4x squared. And then you can subtract this minus this is 0, this minus this is negative 7x squared. Then x into -7x squared, this would be -7x. -7x multiplied by x, that would be -7x squared. -7x multiplied by 4, that would be -28x. Then you can bring this one down and subtract this minus this is 0, this minus this will be 10x, and then x into 10x, that would be a 10. 10 times x, that's 10x. 10 times 4, this will be 40. Then you can bring the 40 down and subtract, so you are getting a 0. So as you can see, this is giving us this times this plus the remainder, which is 0. So now you can easily factorize this using what we did in the other video.